But the beautiful thing about our body is so intelligent, it knows how to detox if we give it the right opportunity to do so. And this is why in Eastern medicine, in Ayurveda, there's a concept that from time to time, especially the seasons that you mentioned, why are you supposed to do a formal detox like Panchakarma around that time? Because our body is ripe. It's full of toxins at certain times, so we have to detox to protect our body, our immune system, our liver, our gut health.
So Panchakarma is a process that you do at the brink of seasonal change, right?
Yes.
So when you're going from like winter to spring, spring
Summer
to
to
summer.
fall, yes.
Gotcha. But it's an elaborate process as far as I know.
Yes. But I'm happy to tell you my personal story about this.
Sure.
So in April 2020, at the height of COVID, I was in New York City at one of the busiest hospitals on the front line, seeing the worst of COVID, as you can imagine. I got COVID, got pretty sick. I had 2 days to recover and I had to go right back because there was such a shortage of doctors. It wasn't until about 6 or 8 weeks later when I had a moment to even think that I realized something is wrong with my body. My hair was falling out in chunks. I was losing weight. I was getting short of breath just even going one flight of stairs. I'm someone who can exercise for an hour, no problem. So what I had actually was long COVID, but I didn't realize that. No one knew what even COVID was, let alone what long COVID was. So I was struggling. So then I came across, I was one day on Amazon buying toilet paper as everyone was doing in the US at that time. And I have no explanation for this to this day. I think it was like divine intervention. That's what I believe in. That a book about a 185-year-old yogi popped up on my suggestion list in Amazon. I had not searched any books or anything. I have no idea. It was an out-of-print book. There was one copy somewhere. I bought it.
What book was this?
It's called Life of a 185-year-old Yogi. It's about Tapasviji Maharaj. Knew nothing about this. Bought the book. I read it. So in this book, it talks about ancient technique that yogis use to reverse physical aging. And it's called Kaya Kalpa. Kaya, body, Kalpa means transformation. So it's an advanced level of detoxification and activating your stem cells that yogis did to keep in excellent physical shape so they could continue meditating, continue their spiritual progress.
Wow.
So this yogi, Tapasviji Maharaj, was actually a prince in Patiala in the late 1700s. And then he became a sadhu. And he was doing deep meditation in the Himalayas, extreme things. One time he raised his arm up for 12 years. He would meditate in severe cold conditions, severe hot conditions. So obviously his body took a beating, right? He was aging. So he met this other yogi and said, I know this technique called Kaya Kalpa. So when he was around 80 years of age, he went through this process. It was a 1-year grueling process. But when he came out of it, he was almost 30 years old. That's what he looked like. New hair, new teeth. It sounds like magic, right? It sounds like something mythical. But the process was so intense that he went through to reverse aging, activate the stem cells. And the idea behind Panchakarma is something very similar. So inspired from the book, I said, I'll do Panchakarma. I did it for a month. It was very intense. And I cannot tell you, like I would not have believed it until I went through it myself. After a month, one day I was sitting there. I felt so much better, never better in my life. More energy, more lightness, more clarity in my head. One day I was sitting there and I noticed my nails. It's like, I literally just cut my nails 2 days ago and it's growing right back. I had never seen my hair and nail grow that fast. I'm vain just like anyone. I want my hair and my nail to grow. But what it was indicating that something major transformation had taken place inside, right? So that's how I got to experience firsthand the power of detoxification, the power of Panchakarma. And that changed my medical practice. And I cannot tell you how many patients I've put through that process and the results I've gotten. It's just unremarkable.
Okay. This is why I'm this excited about this conversation. Now, firstly, I'm brown. You're also brown.
Yes.
So, like, I think on some level, you're able to talk to me about this in a slightly easier manner.
Yes.
But say if I was black, white, Asian, and I'm hearing about Ayurveda and all this stuff for the first time, my obvious question to you would be, hey, where's the proof? of that 185-year-old guy.
Yes. We have pictures, first of all, of him. So there is proof. But here, let me tell you, as mythical as this sounds, it's actually hyper scientific. So let me walk you through the process, what the yogi went through, and I'll explain to you in scientific terms what it did. So what he did, first of all, a special hut was created, a kutir was created for him that did not let any sound or light inside. He entered that hut for 1 year. So the idea is you want to mimic conditions as if you're in the mother's womb. Complete sensory deprivation. Our senses drain so much of our energy, especially when we're scrolling, watching TV, it drains so much of our energy. Second thing, prolonged fasting and meditation. So you slow down the basic metabolic rate in your body. So you're basically putting your body in a state of hibernation. And obviously meditation, all of that, activating the vagus nerve. It switches your body into the super detox mode where it's able to not only remove the toxin, but activate the stem cells to regenerate organs. And the only food that he really had was fresh cow's milk and some herbs. So when I'm talking about this on different podcasts in America, people always like, which herbs were they? The magical herbs. Like, it wasn't the herbs. If I took those herbs, it would not have the same effect on me, right? It was everything the yogi did to get the body in that state is what worked. Sensory deprivation, fasting, meditation, activating the vagus nerve. So we all have that capacity in our body. So when I talk to a Western or a skeptic audience, I always say, we're doing this in the lab. In the lab, we're able to regrow organs, regrow liver. It's possible. We're doing it. It's just yogis figured out thousands of years how to do it.
And we're the first generation that has this opportunity to study these things scientifically.
Yes.
We're the first generation. Again, the Western angle on this whole topic would be, hey, show me the proof. Hey, I'm waiting for the research. Usually, the Eastern angle on these kind of conversations is, let's study it more. Maybe what you're saying is right. Maybe it's wrong, but we'll only know through study.
Yes.
And we hope that it's right, of course. But I think that over the next 10 to 20 years, with everything that's happening in the field of longevity and anti-aging in the West, they're finally going to land up on a lot of this Eastern medicine stuff, put a lot of research behind it, and then figure out how to get to their goals of longevity through ancient techniques. In the same way that things like ayahuasca or peyote have come back to the forefront when it comes to mental health and evolution, this stuff is going to come to the forefront when it comes to skin health, organ health, etc. Okay.
The yogis were the ultimate biohackers. They really were. So now the biohacking I see in the West is very superficial, right? Yes, you might inject yourself with fresh plasma, stem cells, take all these peptides. You do all these crazy things in the name of longevity. But the real longevity is about activating the stem cells, going into a state where your body's able to clean up, remove those toxins. Your body can do this on its own. It doesn't need all this bells and whistles. We just never give it the chance to do that.
Brian Johnson, the person who's trying to be immortal,
Yes.
he's been on the show. And we spoke in detail about this Western science and Eastern medicine angle. He was not closed off to it. But what he said was that within South American culture and African culture and Eastern culture, you have these philosophies. And I asked him that, okay, if I'm able to get you proof and scientific research papers, would you be willing to try out the Eastern stuff? He said yes. And in my head, during that podcast, I thought, okay, maybe 10 years later, I'll find some research paper somewhere. And today I'm glad I met you. I'm going to get you guys like connected. Because I think that you're the scientist effectively trying to figure out the proof behind all these Eastern angles. And he's the experiment for mankind. And I know for a fact that he's very happy to live for 400 years. But he's just trying to find a pathway. And there's something very beautiful about his intention. He's going at life very intensely. He's obsessed with it. He's not bothered about what people are saying. And he's very aware of the fact that he's going to be valued probably in 2424 rather than 2024. So you guys need to get in touch for sure.
Definitely.
Because I think a lot of your research will help him in his process.